Welcome to our CommStrat 312 video project. Today you will hear from Hannah, Ella, Anna, Jordan, and Eddie. According to the textbook Effective Public Relations, written by Broom and Shaw, public affairs is the specialized part of public relations that builds and maintains organizational relationships with governmental agencies and community stakeholder groups to influence public policy. Public affairs includes relationships between the military and government, corporations, and lobbyists. A survey of public affairs officers identified major public affairs responsibilities as including federal government affairs, state government affairs, local government affairs, community relations, political action committees, contributions, grassroots support, and issues management. Government public affairs officers in the United States are a vital link between people and their government. They must inform constituents about the activities of the government agency, ensure active cooperation in government programs, foster citizen support for established policies and programs, manage information internally, facilitate media relations, and build the community and nation through government-sponsored public health campaigns or other public security programs. Consumer activist Ralph Nader said it best. In this nation, where the ultimate power is said to rest with people, it is clear that a free and prompt flow of information from the government to the people is essential. Public affairs practitioners need to emphasize good relationship management, especially when related to advancing international relations. In the next clip, you will see our take on an example of poor public affairs management by President Donald Trump. His response to the situation affected his credibility and was in the news for weeks.
Okay, so Mr. President, what do you think about letting immigrants come into the United States from Haiti and other countries in Africa?
Wrong. I don't think we should accept people from shithole countries like Africa. We are great. We are so cool.
We were able to catch up with a few Trump supporters to ask them what they thought about the president's recent statement towards shithole countries. Now, Bob, I want to ask you, overall, what do you think of the job Donald Trump has been doing?
You know, I'd probably give him maybe a 7 out of 10.
Now, Bob here says he doesn't get a higher review because of some of his personal behavior, including what he just said. What did he say, Bob?
Oh, well, you know, he used the word shithole countries.
So, what do you think of the president using that term?
Oh, I don't think that he definitely, no, he could have done way better. And I think that in terms of forcing that against the leadership of the country, more than the people of the country.
Right, but the fact that he used that word at all to describe another country.
It's not very presidential, no. It's the rules of words a president should never use.
Another specialized and often scrutinized part of public affairs is lobbying. Lobbying is the act of influencing decisions made by officials in the government. Lobbying has a bad rep, as it is seen as manipulating the public. But there are good examples on how lobbying can influence the public in a good and effective way. A good example of good lobbying comes from Earth Justice. Earth Justice is a policy and legislation team made of a seasoned lobbyist who are committed and knowledgeable about environmental policy and the impact that litigation has in protecting our air, water, and lands. Earth Justice and some local activists went to Washington to lobby why there needs to be a federal coal ash regulation. Coal ash is a toxic byproduct by coal-fired power plants that are filled with pollutants such as arsenic, mercury, lead, and selenium. Earth Justice is representing and informing the government about environmental issues that are poisoning nearby waters and citizens.
Grassroots marketing is another form of lobbying. In the textbook by Broom and Shaw, it says, in its primary role as a credible advocate and reliable source of information. However, lobbying takes the form of information designed to educate and persuade. Grassroots marketing is targeting your message towards that niche group of supporters that help with doing the groundwork. They are also people who make up the organization and member follow base. The group's purpose is to create a fast-spreading word of your organization among themselves and other people who are like-minded. An example is momsrising.org, which takes on issues facing women, mothers, and families by educating the public with involved grassroots action. The goal of the organization is to increase its awareness and grow their membership with a fun video titled Mother of the Year. The video was a creative way to cause a laugh and draw people's attention to their cause. The women in the interview talk about the woman who won Mother of the Year, and here is our take on that video.
Today we're asking moms what they think of the Mom of the Year. Excuse me, miss, what do you think about the new Mom of the Year?
I think it's amazing how she keeps everything together, and because yesterday I went to work with a box full of Cheerios in my briefcase.
Ouch. What do you think, miss?
Well, as moms, we find ourselves going to work half-dressed in yesterday's garbage while you're looking for your kid's retainer that costs more than yesterday's rent. And you're like, how did I get here? But she makes things look elegant.
Yep. The Mom of the Year puts my mom to shame. In other news, a new study found that putting your hair in a ponytail is not the same thing as showering.
As stated in the earlier definition, part of the public affairs practice involves building community and nations through governmental campaigns that promote health. The most widespread example is First Lady Michelle Obama's effort to reduce childhood obesity. The textbook lists her work as instrumental in getting the U.S. Department of Agriculture to replace the disliked food pyramid with a much simpler food plate. Michelle's Let's Move initiative, launched in 2010, has a widespread range of achievements. It increased access to fruits and vegetables in schools, providing 3 million students with a salad bar. It also started the Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act, which updated school meal nutrition standards for the first time in 15 years and increased funding for the first time in 30 years. Through this law, American public schools offered healthier school meals and snacks for over 50 million kids. This is a great example of a positive government public affair. Public affairs also involves the military. Military public affairs is important because it provides information to the public about military policies and operations, enhances morals of men and women who serve, and showcases the efforts and accomplishments of the men and women who are serving in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Military public affairs officers deal with the relationships between their military organizations and its publics. The DoD's public affairs network is massive employing several thousand military communicators. Its public affairs department is headed by the Assistant Secretary of Defense. The goal is for an informed citizenry and their elected representatives to have the best information available to their government. According to the textbook, the American public must be informed about the United States military operations, and this information must be provided through both news media and the government.
Thank you for watching our video on public affairs. We hope we provided you with a definition, concrete examples, explained how it is a specialized field, and described potential job opportunities.